What is going on, guys? Welcome to Bisc Gaming. My name is Travis. In today's video, I'm going to dive into Pegaxy. We're going to look at some new breeding models since they made the timer changes in the game. Look at which horse style, which method is the best way to make that money, to break even on that ROI, and have a powerful force of horses to bring in that weekly paycheck for you from this play-to-earn game. Now, first off, I am heavily invested in Pegaxy. I got started in Pegaxy about 6 weeks ago, really at one of the highs. I think the price of this token was about 13 or 12 cents. PGX was around probably 80 cents at the time. And as you can see right now, we have gone through a major crash over the past month when they hit an all-time high of about 25 cents for the VIS token. Since that point, it's been on a steady decline, and we've kind of leveled out here around the 2-cent range over the past couple days, which I have, a lot of people have been fudding and being very worried about the game. I realized that this game was very new. It was only 3 months old at this point, and the team involved is very good. They're consistently progressing. It's not a worry of the token price at the time. It's about what the game's going to be and what they're doing. So I continued breeding. I continued building during that phase. I'm about $12,000 total invested in the project, but you can see just some of my earnings so far. We've done about 125,000 VIS in the past 30 days, growing our farm up to 29 total Pegas right now. And they did a whole bunch of changes with the breeding and the race timers recently. So the method and the style that I'm following, the breeding cycle, has changed up a little bit. Now, one big change that a lot of people have been switching from is before the Haas horses were the ideal horses to breed and race because their timers were the shortest. You had about a 24-hour timer on your newborn Pegas for them to be able to breed and for them to be able to race. So this allowed you to use the Haas horses to really kind of maximize your growth. You're able to grow very fast, and over a short period of time, you're going to be able to have a lot of horses racing, making that money in. Now, they switched it up to where another style horse, the Zahn, now has a short race timer. So after that horse has been bred, they have 24 hours before they can race. They changed it to where the Haas now has 96 hours after they've been bred before they can race. So a Haas horse is going to earn less VIS in its opening 15-day cycle, but it still has that 24-hour breed timer, which allows these Haas horses in the long run to still be the best producers as far as overall VIS earnings, just because you're going to end up having more horses at a much shorter period of time. It does cost more up front, but that is the trade-off there. Which way are you going? If you are very low on funds and you can only afford one horse, then grabbing a Zahn right off the marketplace might be the way to go, because you're going to be able to race them right away tomorrow and start earning that money back to build your farm. Now, right now, Zahns are also going quite a bit more than Haases, so that's another strategy. If you're just breeding to sell, you can see a Haas and Zahn 220 to 255. That's for already bred. If we go for the virgins, you're looking at about $390 for the Haas and about a $450 for the Zahn. So it's about a $75 to $80 difference there. So if I were selling Zahn virgins, we'd be making a little bit more per sale. But I have stuck with my Haas strategy since the changes. I bought a couple Zahns and then ended up selling most of them. I kept 2 of them right here, you can see. We bred them once. I'm just selling all the offspring on my Zahn, and I'll sell these Zahn as well when I'm done racing them, just because I saw the profit opportunity from just breeding and selling the Zahn, considering that there's such a higher markup on those horses. But in today's video, we don't really want to talk about that. We want to look at the different breeding models, the different play-to-earn models that we can follow. This is my actuals chart. We've got just our cost per breeding, the prices today, earnings potential, and then this is when I started, January 27th. This is my actual earnings so far. You can see we are now on day, where are we? 42 here. This is where we are. We've bred 2 guys today, about 30 more PGX, $8 cost, 27 horses in my stables, earned 4,397 VIS today, no PGX earned today, and no USDT earned today. So we're up $80 right now. You can see my cumulative earnings when I started, about $6,000 to $7,000 in our first week. Now keep in mind, the prices of VIS and everything were much, much higher, 10 times higher than they were right now. So our costs in the beginning were quite up there as far as getting the breeding moving compared to today. That caused our ROI to be extended a little bit. When I first calculated it, at about week 5, we would have turned the corner from being in a loss and we would have started moving towards the profit point. And about week 8, we'd be break even and in the positive. Right now we're at week 6. We turned the corner just this week. You can see we're $33 moving in the right direction. But of course, if this goes up a little bit, let's say it goes up to 5 cents, we'd be up almost $1,000, $1,200 there. So you can just see that that does play a big factor. And when it comes to this, you have to wait on that claiming period. So that's why this fluctuates a lot. I still have about a week until my next claim period. So with that, during that time, if the price of VIS changes, the total rewards I've actually earned in US dollar will be different. They will change. So that is something you want to keep in mind as well. And that's why I typically like to also use the strategy of selling your horses that you breed to get that US dollar in. Because if you sell a horse, you get paid in USDT. It's instantly put in your wallet. You don't have to wait for a 15-day claim period. And you can use that profit to either take profits out or put it back into the breeding right away and so forth. So with the new changes, we had to start doing new calculations, figure out what the best breeding model would be, what is the best way to go. There was someone, I'm not sure his name on the Discord, but he shared these simple charts here, these top 4. And it just kind of breaks down a 15-day breeding cycle for Haas's and for Zons. He did it for the other ones as well to give us an estimate of how much VIS they can earn in a 15-day cycle. So if we're just looking at taking 2 parent horses, breeding them 2 or 3 times of a Haas or a Zan comparison, you can see our top 2 charts here are our Zan. We're looking at about 10,500 VIS earned if we breed it twice. We're looking at 10,800 VIS earned if we breed those Haas's 3 times. And on our Zons, we're getting 11,400 earned if we breed twice, 11,100 if we breed 3 times. So overall, by looking at those simple charts, we see that the Zon is pulling in more VIS, just 800 more or whatever, not too much more than the Haas up there. But again, what's very important for me, thinking long-term, building a guild, getting scholars on board, getting as many horses as possible, we really like that our breeding happens so quickly. From here, you got these 3. You get 3 offspring right away on day 3. You have now 5 horses, where if you're on the Zon, you don't have 5 horses until day 9. So that can play a big part in the long scheme of things. If you're worried about 60 days, 90 days from now where the game's going to be, then go with a short-term plan. I am here for 3, 6, 9 months at least as we're building up, and that's when really I see my payday coming into play, and that's why we're not too worried about our 15-day cycle, but rather our 45 or 60-day cycles. And that's what I broke down here. We extended these models a little bit to be 45 days long, looking at our total VIS earned, total cost, daily earnings, ROI point, and new horses for a few different breeding models. Now, first off, all these are going to be in Haas's since I'm doing Haas. If you want to do Zan, switch it over for sure. Follow the same idea and concept. The chart here, you can see the beige color is our race cooldown. So after you have a horse that breeds, they have a race cooldown. After one is born, you have a race cooldown. Those are the timers we're talking about. We've got our breed day, which is the light green here. I have the bright green, which will be if I'm selling the horse, and I'll have the amount of VIS that I'm estimating will be the sale cost. We have the brown days are when this Pega is unborn or we don't own it anymore. And then our blue days are our VIS. And we average about 300 VIS per day per horse is our estimate. So if we look at a few different breeding models, we can see and compare what's going to fit our budget and our strategy the best we possibly can. Our first strategy here is a 45-day cycle, and for the first 30 days, I'm just breeding nonstop, not selling anything, doing nothing but breeding as many as I can, 3 rounds per parents. So you can see that our first 15-day cycle here is very barren from actually earning any VIS or any money. We've only earned 6,600 VIS in this period. And that seems off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's actually 3,600 VIS is what I've earned at this point. In that time. Now, total all costs, every one of these 3 rounds right there, that's about 24,000 total VIS. So you're looking at 1, 2, 4 times 24,000. What is that? Like 96,000 VIS right there. So 96,000 VIS costs for your first 15 days to get 3,600 in. But then you can see after the timers, their shutdown timers or the cooldown timers are done, you get those horses racing, and you can see how quickly you are actually compounding your horses and how quickly your farm can grow. So at the end, you're just getting a ton of horses racing for you over here. And again, I stopped it after the 31 days just to kind of see, well, where can we be if we just stop there and race for the last 15 days. Our overall numbers were about 250,800 VIS earned. 456,000 cost going in VIS cost. We'll have a daily earnings at the end of 17,700 VIS, and we'll break even with this model at about day 57 with 57 new horses. So we'll have a total of 59 horses after 45 days with this model. Again, the investment up front is going to be heavy. This would be something that possibly a guild would do. If you're looking to add hundreds of horses and get cranking real quick, this would be the model you'd probably, or something similar of what you would follow. Now, I am already like 5-6 weeks in or whatever, so I already have 18 horses. I don't want to invest any more in. I'm already at that 12,000 in. My calculations, we are now moving in the positive direction, so I don't want to put outside money in. Luckily, I have horses that will be making that VIS, so I wanted to look at some other models that we could possibly do. This one here is pretty much the same thing, where we are going to breed all the way 45 days, but we're selling our third horse. Now, I calculated an estimate of 15,500 VIS per sale. Now, US dollar value of that is going to fluctuate, but it's about 3,000 to 4,000 VIS over the third round breed is where the prices typically range. Where VIS goes, whatever price the VIS is, that's where the horse price will fluctuate. So if VIS goes down to 2 cents, horses are down to $400. When I bought in, we bought them at $2,200, and I sold a few horses early for over $3,000. So that could still be 15,500 VIS when VIS is priced at 25 cents or whatnot. So that's just my estimate on our virgin horse sales. About 15,500 VIS is what we're going to earn. But keep in mind, when we sell that, we actually get in US dollar, USDT in our wallet instantly. So the VIS is just for the estimates of our calculations here. So in this one, we're breeding the 45 days, but we're selling that third round off. Now, this allows us to kind of alleviate the initial investment, because we're going to have to pay that 24,000 VIS to breed these, but then we got 15,500 coming right back in. So it's only about a 9,000 VIS cost for the entire breeds, and we have 2 horses being added to the farm every kind of 6-day cycle here. So you can see we're going through at about 15 days, we're at 13,200 VIS in. 3 rounds of breeding, that's about 72,000 VIS. So still down there, early investment, 15 days. But again, that does stack up as these horses are able to race after their cooldowns are done. So we're following that for 45 days. We have 201,800 VIS earned, 216,000 VIS cost, about a 6,000 a day VIS earnings. Our ROI point will be day 48, so just 3 days after this, we'd be break even, moving to the profit, and we'd have 18 new horses by the end of this 45-day cycle. So that's not too bad of a model. It cuts down our ROI, it cuts down our potential horses a ton, and our daily earnings after that. But I honestly I like the daily VIS earnings, but relying on VIS with that 15-day claim period is a little bit shaky for me, considering that I could race a horse today and it's at 15 cents VIS. I have my prices and costs already priced in, but then it crashes to 2 cents in 15 days. So when I claim, I got 1/8 of what I originally estimated. So we love the daily earnings. VIS is going to be there. It's going up and down as all in-game tokens do, but we love that being stacked. But that is also why I like that sales side where we're getting that USDT in. Now the next model here, this is just my current farm, because I had 18 horses when I started here. So I was kind of calculating, well, with my 18 horses, will they be able to cover the breeding cost of all the things I got going? I have 18 horses. and then 6 parents at the time. So I had 24 horses when I did these calculations. I think I'm at like 29 today or something. So I just did this a couple days ago. But I had 3 Haas parents that I'm breeding together. So you can see our total offspring. I was calculating with that third offspring being sold. And overall, my numbers were looking, pretty good. Total cost $648,000. Total VIS earned at the end of this will be $904,500. Daily earnings of $23,100. ROI point of day 32 with 53 new horses. Now, the problem with this is that I would still have to put money in at the beginning, considering I have 6 pairs breeding. So that is a lot of VIS costs all the way through here. I mean, that's 72,000 VIS every one of these blocks. So you're looking at a good 220,000 VIS needed in this first 15-day cycle, and I'd only earn 84,600 with the horses racing and with the sales. So what I have looked at and my ideal model now, this is our Zon, sell most, not worrying about that. This is our Haas. Now in this case, since I have 18 horses already, I'm not so worried about having enough horses to cover my breeding moving forward. They bring in quite a bit of money coming in every day. So moving forward with my offspring, I'm following a pattern of I'm taking my 2 Haas parents, I'm breeding them 3 rounds, I'm selling one of those 3 offspring, and I'm selling one of the parents that I bred with. So this will leave you at the end with 1 new horse every cycle of the 2 parents breeding, and with the sales of the 3rd offspring that's a virgin and the fully bred horse, you're going to be able to actually be up in VIS every cycle. And this is how that works out here. You can see we have Haas parent 1, Haas parent 2. They have 3 babies. Our 3rd baby we sell at 15,500 VIS. That was our estimation. Now my estimation for the fully bred parents is 11,000 VIS. Because they're around $200-300 right now. That's a little bit less than the 3rd round breeding of 12,000 VIS. So that's just where my estimation is. It's probably actually a little low estimate. And if prices go up in the days after you breed, you're going to get more coming in for you. But overall, what you're getting here, this is 24,000 VIS right here to 24,000 VIS right here to breed these 3. Now, from the virgin offspring sale, I got 15,500. From the race parent, I have 11,000 coming in. So that's 26,500 total VIS that came in. So I got 2,500 VIS more than I spent on these 3 horses. Now it cuts down the total number of horses I have. As you can see the brown here, that would mean that this Haas parent is sold. He will not earn any VIS for me moving forward, but we do add a horse every single one of these cycles. So we got offspring 1 and 2 that come right here. One of these will be sold. One of them I will keep. 3 and 4, one of these will be sold, one of them I will keep. So at the end, we are up every breeding cycle with this method, but we're also adding horses. So my initial goal when I started this was we want to get to where our horses, what they earn in a 15-day claim, will be able to cover the breeding costs in the next 15-day claim so that I can just start moving towards profit. Once I accomplish that with my first 20 horses there, then I switch to this model where we're going to have a slower growth. We won't add as many horses as quickly like at that initial calculation where we added 57 horses, but we are adding 1 horse every 6-day, 5-day cycle, and we are up on our VIS costs, on our breeding costs. So this is really an incredible model to follow. What I love about this as well is that you're not worried about the VIS volatility. Again, USDT is what you get paid in. So right here, when we breed this, we sell that 3rd offspring right away. We sell that parent right away. So this would actually probably be right here as well, just the total VIS coming in. But it doesn't matter if VIS changes tomorrow or changes next week or when the claim period is, because you sell and you get that USDT right into your wallet. And what's great about this game is that it's very hot. Even with the crash on prices and stuff, people are buying horses left and right. Like, you can list the price or your horse on the floor, it will be sold within 10 minutes. Usually, I doesn't even show that my MetaMask had actually done the transaction to list it and the thing had already sold. So that is kind of the power of this model. You can see our numbers at the end. We're looking at 840,600 VIS earned, 648,000 cost, a daily earnings of 8,100. Our ROI point is day 4, because right there when we sell those, which is actually day 3, we sell those, we're up. Other than our first initial Haas parents, I guess we didn't really count that. But we'd have 27 new horses at the end. Now, what's beautiful about this model is that I didn't include my 18 horses I already had on top of this. So I have the 18 horses racing every day throughout on top of this little breeding model, which you can see. And we even capped at the end where we didn't do the breeding at the end. So this model right here is your ideal setup. Now you could do the same thing with the Zon as well. The only thing there is that you have the big spaces in between when you can actually breed. You got day 1, you breed 1. You got to wait 4 days, breed 2, wait 4 days, breed 3. So the VIS and the cost might fluctuate there as you're going, but you can still do the same kind of method that I'm doing. I just like the Haas because, again, I can breed those 3 days, and this really cuts down when I can breed the offsprings as well. So we're just really stacking horses sooner than later, and, you know, adding 1 horse every cycle where we're up on VIS every time as well. So guys, hopefully this helped you all out. Lots of different ways to go about the game. They got a lot of upcoming changes. So this entire breeding cycle is going to probably be outdated very soon. As they change the game, they're going to change like the importance of stats. They're going to have skill-based gaming. They're going to have different items and things that you can use, I believe. So all those things will be factors as to what is the ideal horse, what's going to make the most money, what's going to bring back the most ROI. And that's what we'll put those calculations in the future. But right now, this is definitely and my calculations, the ideal way to go. Starting to move very quickly back in the positive now that we're selling those 2 horses. And by the end of this, we're going to still have around 50 horses or so, 45 that will be racing just every day. So guys, hopefully you enjoyed this one. My name is Travis. I will see you in the next one.